Many fans believe Kevin Durant is the greatest one-on-one player in basketball, but Durant himself once admitted there are 3 players he could not beat in isolation. The first is Kobe Bryant. Many people question this because Durant has the agility of a guard and the height of a center, making him a mismatch against almost anyone. Taller defenders cannot keep up with his speed, while quicker players cannot match his length. So, how could he lose to Kobe, who is often said to lack elite physical talent? The truth is, people often exaggerate what talent means at the NBA level. Every player who makes it to the league already possesses elite ability. The idea that Kobe lacked talent usually comes from comparing him to physical anomalies like Giannis or LeBron, but Kobe had incredible athleticism, including a near 40-inch vertical and elite body control, similar to Michael Jordan, along with one of the most complete skill sets in basketball history. So it is unrealistic to assume he would lose purely based on physical comparison. In one-on-one basketball, a single unstoppable move can dominate, and Kobe had countless offensive weapons against Durant. He would only need to create separation once to score consistently, while Durant trying to back Kobe down would not be easy because Kobe's strength could match him. If Durant settled for jump shots, then it becomes less reliable, since jump shooting is always more inconsistent than attacking the rim. Durant also admitted that he might lose to Tracy McGrady, especially early in his career when McGrady was still in his prime, and Durant even modeled parts of his game after him. Every time they matched up, McGrady went all out, which clearly left a lasting impression on Durant. But there is one more player Durant admitted he could not beat, and it is not LeBron and not Curry. Here is a hint: Kobe once called him late at night asking for advice on one-on-one moves. This team was so dominant, people joked that anyone could coach them and still win a championship. Welcome to the story of the greatest team ever assembled, the 1992 Dream Team. After the disappointment in the late 80s, USA Basketball made a historic decision to bring together the best professional players in the world, legends like Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Barkley, Karl Malone, David Robinson, John Stockton, Scottie Pippen, and more. When these players stood on the same court, the entire sports world was shaken, and they were given a name that would echo through history: the Dream Team. Later joined by Clyde Drexler, this legendary squad became a collection of superstars like never seen before. To prepare them, a group of top college players was brought in for practice, and in a surprising moment, the Dream Team lost a scrimmage, a result that woke them up completely. The very next day, they responded with intensity, dominating their opponents and showing their true level. Once they arrived at the Olympics, they were unstoppable, winning games by huge margins, overwhelming every opponent with skill, speed, power. Their chemistry and confidence made them look untouchable even against strong international teams. They controlled every game and set a new global standard for basketball in the final. They secured the gold medal with ease, proving their dominance to the world. This team did more than just win. It inspired a generation and changed basketball forever. Many teams have tried to recreate that greatness, but there will only ever be one true dream team. He is known as the Grim Reaper on the court, but many fans once called him a coward. This is the story of Kevin Durant, one of the most talented yet most controversial players in the National Basketball Association. In 2016, the Oklahoma City Thunder had a 3-0 lead in the Western Conference Finals, but were reversed by the Golden State Warriors. 1 month later, Durant shocked the world by joining the same team that defeated him. From that moment, the word traitor followed him everywhere. In Golden State, he won 2 championships and 2 finals MVPs, but the criticism never stopped. Later, Durant joined the Brooklyn Nets, hoping to build his own legacy in the 2021 playoffs against the Milwaukee Bucks. Durant delivered one of the greatest performances in NBA history, scoring 49 points, 17 rebounds, and 10 assists in a single game. In Game 7, he hit a dramatic shot that tied the game, but his foot was slightly on the line, turning the shot into a 2-pointer instead of a game-winning 3. Durant has been loved, hated, doubted, and misunderstood. But through everything, he continues to prove one thing: there will only ever be one Kevin Durant. A once unknown black kid boldly declared in front of all the doubters that he would become the strongest player in the league. In 1991, he won his first championship. In 1992, he defended the title, and in 1993, he completed a historic 3. In 1996 and 1997, he reached the top again, building a. This man never broke his promise and became the god in the hearts of basketball fans, the universally recognized greatest player in basketball history, Michael Jordan. However, Jordan's basketball journey did not start smoothly. In high school, as a sophomore, he could not even make the varsity team, but he refused to accept his fate and trained relentlessly, growing from about 1.80 meters to 1.93 meters in one summer. With improved height and incredible skill, he entered University of North Carolina, where head coach Dean Smith quickly noticed his most valuable quality: the habit of constant reflection and improvement. After every game, Jordan would analyze what he could do better, and after every training session, he challenged teammate James Worthy to one-on-one battles. And although Worthy was stronger at first, Jordan's insane improvements soon allowed him to catch up. Jordan quickly became a core player, leading North Carolina into the national championship game against Georgetown Hoyas men's basketball. With 32 seconds left, North Carolina trailed by 1 point, and Coach Dean Smith chose to trust the freshman Jordan with the final shot, and Jordan delivered, hitting the game-winning basket and leading North Carolina to the championship of the NCAA Division I men's basketball tournament, marking the beginning of a legendary journey that would eventually lead him to the highest stage of basketball, the National Basketball Association. He was never considered a once-in-a-generation talent, yet in a game dominated by giants, he changed basketball with a single shot. This is the story of Stephen Curry, the son of former NBA player Del Curry. His path to basketball greatness was never easy. His thin body caused many scouts to doubt him, and when he tried out for North Carolina, he was rejected on the spot. The coach told him, "You play well, but you are too skinny. We do not want you." Yet those doubts became the motivation that would later change the entire league. Curry began rebuilding his shooting form, from his core strength to his wrist motion, from his release angle to his coordination. After countless failures and tens of thousands of shots, he developed the power that would transform basketball at Davidson College. He stunned the NCAA with fearless three-point shooting, leading the small school on an unbelievable run and becoming one of the most talked-about shooters in the nation. In 2009, he was selected 7th overall by the Golden State Warriors. But the beginning of his NBA career was far from smooth. Ankle injuries and constant media criticism surrounded him, but Curry never backed down. He simply kept training harder. He used three-point shooting to disrupt defenses, constant movement to stretch the floor, and a completely new style of play to change the rhythm of the game. In 2015, he won the MVP and led the Warriors to an NBA championship. In 2016, he led the team to a historic 73-win regular season and became the first unanimous MVP in NBA history. Although that season ended with heartbreak, the dynasty soon continued when Kevin Durant joined the team, forming a terrifying lineup that dominated the league and won back-to-back championships. Later, injuries struck the team, and after Durant left, many believed the Warriors' dynasty was over, but Ray once again proved the world wrong in the finals in Boston. He delivered a legendary performance, hitting unforgettable three-pointers and turning a tiny championship probability into reality. Some people say his style changed the beauty of basketball, but this skinny boy never relied on the gifts of fate. Instead, he used the spinning basketball in his hands, drawing the most beautiful arc in the air to shatter the coldest doubts and become a light for hundreds of millions of fans around the world. While others train with discipline, he was joking about burgers and fries. But this seemingly relaxed player became one of the most unstoppable forces in basketball. Luka Doncic was a prodigy from Slovenia. While others learned to walk, he was already learning to handle a basketball by the age of 8. He was forced to compete against older players because he was simply too good. At 13, he moved alone to Spain, joining Real Madrid, facing a new language and an unfamiliar environment. He often felt lonely and would quietly call his mother after training, But despite everything, his performance never dropped. In his first year, he led his team with incredible scoring, and by 18 he had already won at the highest level in Europe, becoming a symbol of national pride in 2018. He entered the NBA and was drafted before being traded to Dallas. His experience playing against stronger opponents from a young age helped him quickly adapt to the league. His style was unique, slow-paced yet impossible to defend, combining control, vision, and precision. In one unforgettable playoff moment, he hit a game winner at the buzzer, creating a highlight that would be remembered for years. Many believed he would bring a Chas MP ship to Dallas, but everything changed when he was traded, leaving fans shocked and emotional. He stayed strong through it all. But when he returned to Dallas and heard the crowd welcome him back, he couldn't hold back his tears. After joining a new team, he faced new challenges and criticism. Some questioned his conditioning and effort, but he responded with dedication, improving himself and proving his value again and again. In a league driven by business decisions, true loyalty is rare, but his story shows resilience, passion, and the ability to rise above every challenge.
What time is it?
He could boost the American GDP by billions with just one sentence. Yet this man, known as a god, once hid in the locker room and cried after winning a championship. This is the story of Michael Jordan, born in Brooklyn, New York in 1963 when he was 15. His high school coach pointed at him and said, "You are not suitable for basketball," because he was only about 1.7 meters tall at the time. But when he returned home, his father told him to learn to accept doubt, because those doubts should become the motivation that drives him to practice every morning before sunrise. From that moment, the boy who refused to eat until he made 100 three-point shots turned extreme training into his daily routine, doing pull-ups and endless practice until he forced his body to grow from 1.78 meters to 1.98 meters, and rewrote his name from the list of players cut from the school team to the NBA draft list in 1984. He was selected third overall by the Chicago Bulls in an era dominated by centers. Nobody believed this relatively small guard could dominate the league yet. In his rookie season, he averaged 28.2 points per GA, but he was often isolated by other superstars. During that year's All-Star game, Larry Bird refused to pass him the ball, and opponents led by Magic Johnson constantly double-teamed him. Those humiliations only strengthened his determination to step on every so-called superstar. The following year, injuries forced him to miss most of the season, and by the time he returned, it was already the playoffs. Just as fans wondered whether Jordan's peak would suddenly end, he exploded for a legendary 63-point game in his second game back, making Larry Bird famously say it was God disguised as Michael Jordan. The Detroit Pistons even created the infamous Jordan rules, using brutal defense and constant physical punishment to stop him, and many media outlets even claimed the only way to beat Jordan was to destroy him physically, but they never realized their attempts to stop him were simply building the crown of a future king. In the winter of 1991, Jordan finally defeated the Pistons, averaging 31 points and announcing the arrival of a basketball god. From 1991 to 1993, he led the Chicago Bulls to 3 consecutive NBA championships. But after the season, tragedy struck when his father was murdered during a robbery. Jordan shocked the world by retiring from basketball. After he left, NBA ratings dropped dramatically, while the baseball games he played were often sold out as fans around the world begged him to return. On the 7th of March 1995, a video of Jordan appearing at the Bulls training facility went viral. And days later, a message shocked the entire world. "I'm back." On the 16th of June 1996, Jordan led the Bulls to another championship. And that day happened to be Father's Day. After the game, he collapsed on the floor, crying, and said this was the best gift for his father. Perhaps even the greatest god is still just a son in front of his father. And the 6 championship trophies are simply the proof of a legend who taught the world how to fly, because true flight is not only the leap of the body but the spirit that never gives up on victory. Many people often ask why LeBron James has so many critics. Early in his career, before he had truly achieved greatness, he already called himself the King, and even tattooed the word "Chosen One" on his body. Michael Jordan became the god of basketball because fans gave him that title, and Kobe Bryant became the Black Mamba because people recognized his mentality. But LeBron crowned himself, which made many people feel he was trying too hard to prove something. In the past, when legends faced failure, they chose revenge through hard work. Jordan was destroyed by the Detroit Pistons and went back to train harder until he came back and beat them. Kobe lost to the Celtics in 2008 and spent the next 2 years fighting until he won the championship back. Those rivalries became part of NBA history. But LeBron made a different choice. After losing to Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett, he joined forces with another superstar, Dwayne Wade, and all-star Chris Bosh in Miami. At just 26 years old, with 2 MVP awards, he left his team at the peak of his power to join another top player in the league. For many fans, this was the moment that changed the culture of the NBA. From then on, more superstars began forming super teams, chasing championships together. Kevin Durant joined the 73-win Warriors, and later stars like James Harden and Kyrie Irving also formed alliances. Critics believe the league slowly shifted from beating your rivals to joining them. Whether people love him or hate him, one thing is undeniable: LeBron James changed the modern NBA forever. He was never considered a natural talent, yet he turned himself into a legend. He once had no place to call home, but grew into the symbol of toughness in 1990 in a working-class area of Houston. Before he was even 1 year old, he watched his father leave and never return. By the age of 13, he was told to leave home and find his own way. That night, he carried a plastic bag and slept on a friend's couch, and in that moment, He understood that to survive he had to be stronger than everyone else. In high school he was not seen as a top prospect, and very few believed he would reach the college level. After graduation he was ranked far outside the spotlight with no attention. No resources, only early mornings, endless training, and the will to get back up every time he was knocked down. In 2011, with the 30th pick, his name was finally called, and he earned his chance at the same starting line as everyone else in Chicago. He barely saw the court at first, but he never complained. He trained harder than anyone else. When no one wanted the hardest minutes, he stepped forward. When no one wanted the toughest defensive assignments, he accepted the challenge. Step by step, he became an all-star, and then a leader. Later in his journey, he faced setbacks and criticism, but he responded the only way he knew how, through effort and performance. In 2020, he led his team with incredible determination, pushing through every possession and refusing to give up even when exhausted. That image of him leaning on the sideline, catching his breath, became unforgettable. In 2023, he led an underdog team through the playoffs, proving once again that belief and resilience can overcome expectations. He is not defined by numbers alone, because when determination meets belief, limits disappear and impossible stories become real.